Welcome back to That Couple Flips. We're going to go over September sales. We did over $11,000 in sales on 332 sales, so we can't go over all of them, but stick around. I'm going to go over the 20 or so best flips of the month. So, in the month of September, we sold 332 items for a total revenue of $11,230 with $5,300 in profit, an ASP of $35.76, and $17.49 average order profit. You can see how the different platforms break down over here. Isn't nifty beautiful? eBay was 7.1K, Poshmark 2.9, Depop just under 1,000. Mercari is the little engine that I don't even know if it's the little engine that could, but it did a little bit. So let's get into the BOLOs. Up first is, there's a little sneak peek for you, this Erin Moore cardigan. This is a women's small merino wool cable knit zip hooded sweater fisherman. Fisherman is a great keyword for this type of item, for this chunky cable knit. This happens to be a full zip hoodie. Some really good pictures. We listed this in September. It sold within a few weeks. $9.89 and $55. Up next is Smart Wool geometric print merino wool base layer thermal. Most people, when they're looking for this type of item, are typing in either base layer or thermal. Don't know what I did there. This item we bought $5.89, sold within a month for $53.87. That is because of the pattern primarily. There's the tool. Just a little fun fact, this little guy's name is Nitwit. Moving on. Up next is this Tuckernuck Pont Clifton shift dress, women's medium red scuba knit designer luxury. My wife followed another reseller through the dress section on half off day. She found this brand new with tags for half off. It sold within within a week or two. New with tags. Tuckernuck's a pretty decent brand to be looking for. It does well both used and new. This wasn't the greatest style of Tuckernuck. Some of their stuff, new with tags, goes well over $100. Up next is this vintage Spumoni cat sweater. It is a women's medium floral. It's AOP because of this. Colored 80s rare graphic and granny. The style that I've noticed, my daughter a couple years ago had us buy her a collar. All it was a collar that basically covered up this much that she could wear underneath other sweaters and stuff. Novelty print vintage sweaters will sell without it. This is just an extra factor that can boost that price. It was listed in September, sold within a couple of weeks. We took an offer of $50. Up next is this vintage Texas Longhorns crew neck. This little guy's name is Bevo. You can see Bevo has some cracking on those graphics. There's the tag. This sold within a couple of days. I paid $1 and $50 for a nice quick flip. Up next is this Vicky V jersey dress. It was a plus size and a 2X. It's also new with tags. The important keywords that we used were liquid knit, slinky, stretch designer, quiet luxury. It sold within a couple of months. My goodness. $57.69. It's a pretty good flip. Up next is this Polo Ralph Lauren Harrington jacket. Men's extra large, full zip, black pony bomber chore. I wanted it to pop up in searches for bomber jacket or chore jacket. Harrington, I believe is the actual style name Polo Ralph Lauren uses for this. I have heard that you can get Vero claimed for using it on Polo Ralph Lauren. I'm not sure of that. I've never had any issues. It was only listed for a week or two. Sold pretty quick. There's the back, the pony. This silver on blue tag does not necessarily mean that it is a vintage piece. I generally stay away from vintage unless it is made in the USA. We took an offer on it, so it sold for $65 within a week. Up next is this vintage Roper Western shirt, women's large, pearl snap, black, rockabilly, rodeo, cowboy. Again, the important keyword, you're going to have pearl snap, rockabilly, rodeo, cowboy. It sold again within a week or two for $59.87. I bought this thinking it was men's, got it home, the buttons were on the wrong side. I'm like, oh, I think this is women's. Did some research, and the cut obviously kind of looks like women's as well, plus these cleats. That said, it still sold quick for $60. Look for the applique. Anything that looks like George Jones may have worn it. It's a good piece. There's the Roper tag. Up next is this Talbot sweater. It is a cashmere sweater, button cuff, long sleeve, preppy, coastal. It has these buttons on the cuff. It is 100% pure cashmere, and it is new with tags. Obviously, those are all work for it. It's also a plus size. A lot of factors that went into this. Talbot's 1X cotton sweater. Honestly, we probably don't pick up, but it would probably still sell at 1X for $20 or so. Cashmere pre-owned medium probably sells for $30. Cashmere pre-owned 1X probably sells for $40. New with tags got us up to that $70 mark. It sold in a week or two for $70. Up next is this vintage Hollister Henley, women's large, gray, Bella Swan, Y2K, ribbed, long sleeve, preppy, millennial. My wife's been playing around with this millennial keyword. She seems to think it's bringing some more traffic to us, and she's probably right, considering this sweater, or this Henley, sold for $62.87 within like 3 days. So we turned $3 into $62.87. Part of that is also this Bella Swan keyword. Anytime you have the Henley on a neutral toned Y2K Hollister Abercrombie Aeropostale, consider putting in that Bella Swan tag if it fits that aesthetic. Up next is this Citrone Santa Monica top, women's large, silk linen blend, Asian crane tattoo, Y2K geisha. Just filling it up with keywords. If you have something that is kind of like this that you could see being a tattoo on somebody, consider throwing in that tattoo keyword. Yeah. Also, I don't know what geisha or geisha is. That's my wife's domain, but if I'm saying it wrong, you can yell at me in the comments. Citrone, there's the tag, there's the back. Always include good measurements. Again, this sold in a week or two for $70. Up next is this vintage Carhartt Detroit jacket. You want to include duck canvas. This one is distressed. It is Workwear, Y2K. I probably could have got a little bit more money, but it's in really distressed condition, which can be both good and bad. I didn't think this was, I didn't think it was a cool distressing. So I marked the price down a bit and took an offer for $70 in a couple of days. Up next is this vintage Rain Spooner corduroy jacket, men's large, Hawaiian, utility, barn green, lined. This is not an item that I've ever seen from Rain Spooner before, but it was cool, so we went ahead and threw Hawaiian in because it's rain spooner. Utility barn in green because, you know, utility jacket. It has that aesthetic. It has the barn coat aesthetic, and then it has this really cool liner print. It was a rain spooner, size large. So keep your eye out for rain spooner corduroy jackets. Up next is this Scotty vest, 101 vest, men's medium, black travel, utility pockets, preppy vacation. We got $65 for this. It actually was listed in August, sold in August, returned for fit, and relisted and sold again, all within 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for the Scotty 101 vest. They are known for having pockets everywhere. They even label, like, there's a pin pocket, that's a, I don't know, wallet pocket, that's for your ID. Just all kinds of pockets on both sides. So keep your eye out for Scotty vest. Up next is these Salvatore Ferragamo Zara pump, size 6.5, leather block heel pumps, bow detail. These retail for like $800. And sometimes you can get lucky and the thrift store doesn't recognize the Ferragamo brand. You can get them for $8. These sold in like a week for $70. So keep your eye out for Ferragamo Zara pumps. Up next is this North Face jacket, high vent, tri-climate winter coat, waterproof 3-in-1. A lot of the times the style name just kind of dictates how many keywords you're going to be able to get into your title. This one is the high vent tri-climate coat. It's waterproof 3-in-1. On the 3-in-1 jackets, you want to always include front and back of the outer shell, as well as front and back of the inner lining. And then I like to get my measurements on that inner lining because that's going to dictate the fit the most. Made $100 on that in less than a month. Up next is this Nike Downfill Windrunner, is the style. Puffer jacket, men's extra large coat, warm insulated snow camo. I didn't see any others in this snow camo pattern, so I kind of had to make up my own price. It's sold for $100 within like a week or two. On Nike stuff, their shoes and their apparel, if you find this number right here, CU4406, type that into Google with quotes on either end. If it's a modern enough piece, which sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, you'll almost always find the style name, and you're going to want to include that in your title. Alright, up next is this military jacket, men's large long parka, Apex multicam, nylon USA SPV 1C1. I generally include that style code when I find these military jackets, and it is found right here. This is a large long Apex multicam pattern. Front, back. This sold in way under a month, 2 or 3 weeks. Listed for $150, and it sold for, oops, now I have to delete that draft, $115. Up next is these Mother Jeans, women's 31. These are the roller sneak wide leg flare, and then we use the keyword retro 70s dark denim. These sold in like a day or two for $140. Mother's a great brand to be on the lookout for. If you're just quickly running through the jeans section, I like to look for this M. Like I said, these are the roller sneak. The colorway is the off limits there. So yeah, keep an eye out for Mother Jeans. Up next is Beyond Clothing. That's a brand to be, if you don't know it, know it. Beyond Clothing is an amazing BOLO brand. This is an extra large soft shell A5, tactical and military green. This was listed a while, but I listed a jacket in April, so it's selling about the time of year we would expect it to. I'll bet you if I listed this in August or September, it still would have sold this same time. Got $144 for it. That is their tag. Easy to overlook. It just says Beyond. Typically on an inner tag, you'll get this tag, Beyond Clothing Systems, with a size. But that's pretty much all the branding you're going to find. So keep an eye on it. It definitely feels high quality, so you shouldn't miss it, but pay attention. And Beyond Clothing is an excellent brand to be on the lookout for. $6 into $144. Up next was this Pottery Barn sale on Poshmark. A baby Halloween costume, baby dog. There it is on a cute little baby. There's our pictures. Something like this, you pretty much gotta go. Like, you can't show what this looks like. Like, that's an ugly dude, but you throw it on a baby and it's super cute, right? Pottery Barn costumes sell really well. $50 for this. I think we paid $2 for it or something like that. And yeah, and it sold within 10 minutes of putting it up. So keep an eye out for Pottery Barn costumes. Obviously, it's October 3rd. By the time you're seeing this, probably October 5th or 6th. But still have time to sell them good Halloween pieces and know it for next year. Up next is these Frank and Eileen Illusion pull-on pants. We accepted an offer over on Mercari for $60 thanks to their lower fee structure. Frank and Eileen, you're looking for that tag right there. Sometimes this tag is, like 4 inches by 4 inches, really easy to see. Sometimes it's not so much. But Frank and Eileen is an amazing brand, and typically they have a style name written on them somewhere. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't think there was one on these, but typically they have the style name on them, makes it a little easier. If not, you're going to want to Google image them and try to figure out the style name, because that really adds a lot of value. Up next was Depop, which was this LL Bean long coat, camel wool, cashmere button trench jacket. Keyword was old money. We sold this, it was $89. I took an offer of $72. And again, if the drape is important, you're going to want to get it on a mannequin and flat lay. This one, like I said, was 70% wool, 10% cashmere. It is 47 inches long trench coat. I think we paid $10 for it into $70. That's a pretty good flip. And then the best flip of the month of September was this Patagonia Dimension jacket, men's large in Mars Gold with this R logo. Obviously Patagonia is a great brand to be on the lookout for, period. This R logo, I'm not 100% sure what it means. However, if you see it, it's typically an elevated line, so keep an eye out for it. This, and apparently I just seen the other day the yellow rain jackets are in for this fall, so that probably helped this also. There's that R logo, Patagonia. To figure out that it was called the Dimension jacket, this number right here, the 83682 part, You just type Patagonia 83682. Typically the Patagonia Workwear site will come up and with the style name, and you can pretty quickly figure out your style name. This was listed in August. I did pay $15 for it. I did pay $15 for it, and I accepted an offer within a couple of days for $220. So keep an eye out for Patagonia rain jackets. Again, this in the month of September, we had 332 sales for $11,000 in revenue, and the ASP is good and solid. So keep following. We do kind of know what we're talking about. We're trying to get better every day. I wrote a book on how to use ChatGPT to help find profitable inventory, specifically what's going to be trending in the next few months. So check out the book over on Amazon. The link is in the description below. If you made it this far, thank you. A like and subscribe would be nice. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer every question I can get to. We're still new to this. We're trying to get better, so any pointers on anything would be appreciated. Thank you, folks. Bye.